What is up, everybody? Welcome into today's edition of the Futurist Podcast. I am joined by my co-hosts Zan and Hassan, as always, and we are pleasured to be joined by our guest today, Ameer Hussain. Ameer is a 20-year-old entrepreneur with multiple multi-million-dollar companies. Super stoked to have him on today. Talk about the Web3 industry, but more so just talk business with a really innovative mind in the space. Let's go ahead and get into it. Like the video if you guys enjoy the content here on the channel, and subscribe down below for more every single week here on the channel. So I want to go ahead and just get this thing kicked off and pass it over to you, Ameer. Go ahead and introduce yourself for anyone who might not know who you are.
Yeah, guys, what's going on? So my name is Ameer Hussain, most formerly known from the Web3 space, most formerly also known for having two different membership companies called Dark Echelon, Dark Labs. Been in the entrepreneur game for about like 4 to 5 years now. Have had my membership companies for around 2 years. We did pretty well the last 2 years, doing 8 figures in revenue. Things in that realm. Obviously, profit margin's been pretty good. Life's been pretty good, and happy to talk to you guys. Excited to get this going.
Yeah, for sure. Excited to have you on The Futurist, and really just trying to bring on some high-level guests. And I think at your age, a lot of people your age would like to aspire to have the success that you had. So want to kick it off. Introduce your companies to anyone who might not know, your Web3 projects and your Web2 businesses, and then we can just kind of go from there.
Yeah, so Dark Echelon is a Web3 investment and access club. Dark Labs is another one of my membership companies. That's an IRL investment / access club that focuses on more real world concepts away from Web3 and crypto. Then we also have an agency called OPN. We focus on launchpadding and scaling Web3 companies. Obviously, 7, 8 figure, maybe even 9 figure like Web3 companies, tech companies that are trying to go blockchain route. Then also too, I do advise quite a few like 9, 10 figure companies, advisor of Gorka Cigars, advisor of CLC Miami, advisor of a couple of other companies that are just here and there all over the place. So definitely have a lot going on, but at the end of the day, we've automated quite a few things within our companies. So it's been pretty good, but yeah, we have quite a bit going on. And then also we have some private things that pop up here and there, some private deals where we help out people, and we obviously do pretty well with that. But yeah, I usually say we and not me because, I have to give credit to my team. We have an amazing team. So when I do speak, I usually speak in, plural with team instead of myself. So, it's not just me. There's always a really big team behind the greatest minds out there.
That's good, man.
Yeah, good product too, right? Because you brought those cigars to my house. And I appreciate that. He's a gentleman, man.
I don't think you smoked any of them, bro.
I had one. I had one.
It's a gesture that counts.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
it's a gesture. Yeah. The packaging was real nice.
So, Ameer, really, because we chatted for the last few minutes, and I was really interested to kind of understand a little bit about if you could peel the onion back a little bit and show us or teach us a little bit about how you automated your businesses and operations. You said you don't really spend too much time needing to be in the weeds. And I think that would be really valuable for everyone on the...
And let's go chronologically, too. How did it get started? And then how did you get to the point where you automated
Absolutely.
them?
Yeah, so I used to work 18 hours, maybe even 20 hours a day at some point. Probably fucking lost hair. I lost a lot of weight from obviously what I could tell from my past pictures. My girlfriend can't even attest, she's here. Lost a lot of friends, family. Had relationship issues because I was just spending way too much time working. So how that started and why that started is because I fell in love with making a lot of money, right? When I was 18, around mid-2021, I launched my first Web3-based business. I left my job at the office, and obviously I was doing pretty well there, but I actually left to go full-time Web3 because I saw the opportunity to finally do something on my own to where I can own my own company and scale it. And obviously looking at how these other people were doing it, I was like, bro, if they can do it, I could do it way better. I have a lot more experience than the majority of these people. So I launched my first company. It was actually a subscription-based company. Not a lot of people know. We're doing around 60K in revenue just from the subscriptions monthly. And then we had other revenue streams. So we were doing 6 figures monthly when I was like 18 and a half, whatever you want to call it. So that was pretty good. That was like my big first taste of money, like coming at me quick, right? Not like day by day, but it was quick because usually those payments hit all in one day. So it was, 60, 70K I would make in a day. And I was like, holy shit, like, bro, like I can take this to the next level. I'm just getting started. What's going to happen next year? What's going to happen the year after that when I get better, when I become smarter, when I develop more connections, when I have more experience? So my mind started ticking, and I'm like, all right, we have a subscription-based company. First of all, it's not scalable because you can't build a brand around a subscription-based item itself, whatever you're trying to, have people come in your group, pay a subscription. So I'm like, we have to come up with the real brand, right? I was working super hard every single month, controlling the subscription company, this and that. But then we eventually went, hey, we can make a membership club where we offer people benefits similar to the Black Amex, but Web3 version, right? So I was like, yo, we got to do this shit. This will be fucking dope. People are going to love it. People are going to love the branding and the idea and the vision. So we did it. It was not a wild success up front. maybe similar to what you guys have. You guys were not some wild success up front. You guys really went through the trenches and worked hard and put in like a lot of effort and time, and had a team that also put a lot of effort and time. So what we ended up doing is we launched Dark Echelon. We raised about $250,000 one day. It was pretty good for me as a 18-year-old at the time, but in all reality, compared to what other people were doing, it was not that good at the time. And even though I did make a good chunk of money in one day, people have to realize that how Web3 works is, instead of receiving money over the course of a year, over the course of a few years from people by month, or by people paying for different products, you're receiving your entire payment up front, right? So that's your payment for like the whole year. That's your payment for the whole whatever, forever, right? That's what people want to pay. People cannot pay you again unless you launch more products, or unless you launch more tokens, or unless you make money on the royalties. So I had to improvise and think like, what the fuck do we do? I was super disappointed actually that I made $250,000. You can even ask my girlfriend; she was there. I was pissed. I was like, fuck, I'm a failure, right? We have to fix this. So eventually we thought back. We're like, okay, we're not gonna cancel this shit. We're not gonna refund everyone. We're gonna figure out how to get through this. So this is where my journey of really overworking came in, right? So for a lot of people out there that think that the grind set culture is good and think that the grind set culture is gonna get you to the next level, I can tell you that it's not, because I ended up being super plateaued at that time, trying to like work super hard and trying to get things done, but nothing worked. So what ended up happening is I went, hey, if we scale out a team and if we build out a team to handle my day-to-day tasks to where I can think on a more longer-term vision, I think that we can make things happen. So what I ended up doing is bringing on a bigger team. I started being more collaborative. I started thinking of, I started thinking less, I do everything, and I started thinking more, let me give some more responsibilities to people that I might or might not trust, and let me just put trust in people and let's see how this goes. So we started scaling our team for Dark Echelon, and things started getting better. All of a sudden, we were making a shitload of money on royalties. We're getting into private equity deals. We're getting into like flipping tokens, getting private allocations for tokens, for NFTs, for whitelists, for all this shit. And then all of a sudden, we're a 6-figure a month revenue company that literally is not even making any money off the NFTs. We're making money in different revenue streams, right? So I was like, wait, this is super sustainable. If I scale this, then we can really get to like crazy numbers. So I started to realize that I have to give tasks to other people. I have to delegate. I must delegate. And this is the point in time where we're doing like, mid 6 figures a month. And I'm like, holy shit, like my life is changing right now. So from that point on, I started to think longer term. Okay, now we can start helping other companies because now I have more time. So we started helping other companies do the same. We started helping other companies budget, manage their teams, all this. And through the experience, what I learned is that this is legitimately the only way to scale. Like there's no other way. You cannot do everything by yourself. And now when I see other people doing everything by themselves, or saying, yeah, bro, like I work so hard, I do this. I'm like, bro, there's no need to work hard. You must work smarter, right? And in all reality, having 10 people do tasks for you that you were going to do yourself is just common sense at that point. Why the fuck would you want to do everything yourself? It makes no sense, right? You're just wasting your time, and you're not even focusing on the things that matter. You're focusing on customer service. You're focusing on dumb shit that you should not be focusing on.
Put yourself back in a hamster wheel. Like, why would you do that, right?
Bro,
we build businesses. Yeah, we build businesses to get out of the rat race.
That is the rat race. So you're basically working a job for people that don't give a fuck about you, right? Because in all reality, people just care about if the product helps them, if it can save them time, if it can make the money, or if it can save them or if it can save them money. If it doesn't do that, they could give a fuck. They don't care about you. So you have to give people those things, right? And on top of that too, you have to be able to figure out how you can save yourself time by giving all the responsibilities to your team, and obviously make sure that your team is winning, make sure that your team is getting compensated, make sure that your team sees that there's a long-term foreseeable future within this really bright vision, this really bright product that you guys have. So that's what I ended up doing. We took these values, we took these lessons, and we put them in all of our other companies. So now, obviously, taking from one company from ground zero with no experience, we brought this to our other companies. And now, instead of taking a year to build a company to be 6 figures a month or whatever it is, now it takes us a week. Now it takes us 2 weeks, right? Now we can go to anyone and say, yeah, I can fix up this, and that, because we've done it, right? So now, since we have all this experience, now you could be a person that can help other people scale their business from 6 to 7, from 7 to 8, to 8 to 9, because you've done it before. So now you have these superpowers and these experiences that you didn't know that you would have learned through hardship and all this, but it's definitely been a great journey. So we do have quite a few businesses now. They're almost completely automated, which means that yes, I have involvement. I'll hop on a call with my team every week or so or whatever, but I'm not in the trenches anymore. I'm not doing the responsibilities that that maybe
you would have done at the start.
That would take up a lot of my time. Yeah. So I know that you guys are big on that too, right? Time freedom equals more time to think, right? Because when you're more bored, or when you're more bored, or when you have time and you have time for your mind to actually just process what's actually happening and not being in the rat race constantly, when you actually have time to process of what's happening around you, why it's happening around you, and how you got to that point, you're going to be able to really think longer term, more clearly, and you're going to wake up without a headache, right? A lot of people go to sleep with this fucking headache. Oh, I got to wake up and do this. I got to wake up and do this. I don't wake up like that anymore. And I actually saw something from someone on Twitter saying that they don't take calls anymore. They just do text. I've been trying to have that practice recently. It's actually helped out a lot. But I'm probably going to go back to taking calls very soon, like meetings and all that. But it's been super efficient just only doing text. So like
I know Becker for the longest time. I don't know now after the acquisition things have changed, but I know with Hyros, Becker literally ran all of his company through text. It was like no meetings. That's really exciting, man. That's really genuinely exciting.
Yeah, dude. It's a journey, and the main thing too is like people are like, oh, how the fuck am I gonna figure this out? But like, everyone's trying to think of like, what's my 10-step process? When in all reality, you should be thinking, what's my next step? Not like, oh, I gotta think 10 steps. Like, bro, figure out your next step, and then the other step after that will just follow. You'll figure it out. Just do it. I legit went in. I had a mentor, which was my father, which was extremely smart in business, right? But he was in the electronics world, e-com electronics. So it's not like I had someone to guide me through like Web3 and all this, right? So coming into Web3, it was legitimately all myself. No one helped me. No one said here, or no one shouted me out. No one said, oh, Ameer is a good guy.
Yeah.
That came after I put in all the work, right? I never got no boost, no handout. I see some other guys might get that. I'm like, oh, good for them. They're going to get there quicker, right? But in all reality, it's like we really fucking went through it. And now when I talk to people, when I can speak to people, they can see it because they can see I'm in my words and the passion and how I do things and the results, which is the proven receipts that are on the blockchain, that are, within the businesses that I have, the way I live my life, the way I carry myself. That's how you see if a person's actually done something. And there's some guys out here that, say that they do this and that, but you can just read the aura and the essence in them. They haven't done shit. So it's definitely been a great journey, guys.
Yeah, bro.
Go ahead.
No, it's really great to hear, bro, because even like one of the commonalities I'm seeing between, all the great guests that we're having on this show is that, it's almost like the entrepreneur in their journey, they have two lives, right? The first life is when they're building everything from 0 to 1. They're taking it from nothing into something. And then once they start getting that momentum and they get a little bit plateaued, right? We all hit that plateau in our life. The second part of their journey, and it's almost like a whole new life for them, is when they find out about automation and they find out about team building, and they can really gain their time back because, quite frankly, as the CEO, as the founders of these businesses, we can only go as far as our vision. And even for the people inside of our companies, like, it's very important for them to know that they're at a company that they can keep on leveling up, because one thing I'll see is that business owners, sometimes they get comfortable with how much money they're making. Now they're making more money than they need to, but because they're not pushing the business bigger, they start to lose the momentum from their employees and their staff and their team. And I think something that's really impressive about you to me is that you figured this all out at such an early stage in your business career about automation and team building and how important it is. I know entrepreneurs who are 25, 30, 40, 50, and they can't get to that stage, right? What do you think it is that's holding those people back? And what would you tell them in terms of, taking that leap of faith and trusting your team? Because it's not easy. It's not easy to automate and rely on somebody and trust them.
And I'll add on to
you've
it.
had some.
I was 26 when I automated my businesses.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just very recently, for example. So some people, it takes a long time to actually get to that point of automation. So where did you get that mindset of at such a young age? Did you have any mentors? Did you read any books when you were growing up? Like, what kind of factored into your mindset at such a young age to kind of make that pivot?
Yeah.
Okay, so there are a few pillars that like really matter, right? To like really scaling your life up and like really moving quick, right? To level up in every regard, really, really, really fast. One of the things that really helped me was when I scaled up on a certain pillar in my life, I realized that the three other pillars didn't follow along. All the pillars must move together when you're trying to level up. You can't just move up one pillar here and then the other ones are like lower, right? You have to level up in every regard, in every way possible, as quick as possible to get to where you want to be, right? And as you guys know, like being rich or making a lot of money, this can easily happen if you think a certain way, not even with your actions, because your actions will follow with what you think. So a lot of people don't realize, they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get a Lambo, but like they're not even making any money, or I'm gonna make a bunch of money, but then they don't have any connections. Like, if you make a lot of money, you have no connections, you're not gonna be able to get to the next level. Like, everything needs to follow. So that was something that I was really big on. And I try to always think ahead of time within like Web3, for example. I'm like, yo, okay, this is gonna happen. What's gonna be the effect of this action within 1 year, right? How is this gonna affect people, right? Something is gonna give, people are gonna get used to something, and then there's gonna be something new that comes up. So I'm like, okay, what do I have to do to like really solidify myself in case all this stuff goes to absolute shit? Because when I was starting out with like Web3, for example, I'm like, yo, there's no way it will last past 2021. I'm like, bro, by December 2021, this space will be dead. There's no way people are gonna keep on falling for this shit. These PFPs, these
And
rugs.
it's practically dead, right? There's only a few players that are still moving.
But it lasts
So
a
you're
little
right.
longer. But you could still raise money.
Yeah.
I was thinking back then that there's no way to even raise money past 2021. So I'm like, okay, I have to like really put myself in a position. So I had this mindset of urgency, like, yo, we really have to set ourselves up in Web 2. So that's when I really started going hard with like, okay, we need to meet the right people. We need to be in the rooms with the right people. We need to be friends with the right people. We need to be eating dinners and being in the gym. We need to have friendships with the right people, and everything followed, right? So when I was doing that, I was like, okay, I cannot just have money and that's it, right? If you have money and that's it, you're poor. You don't have any health. You don't have your life together. You don't have family relationships. You don't have, relationships with your boys. You don't have anything. You have no connections. So everything must follow when one pillar rises, right? And that's something that really helped me out, and that's something that I really focused on. But I think there was another question that I didn't answer. Which one was that?
Did you have any mentors? Did anyone factor into that, your mindset whenever you were like coming up in business?
Okay, so within normal business itself, a lot of what I was surrounded by, like my environment was really good. I grew up with a father that did very well in business, so that really helped me out with being placed in the right environment, right? Was never given like tangible anything, right? But I was given the mindset and I was given the environment that helped me get to where I want to be. When I was working in the office with my father, we would go to countries, meet up with fucking presidents of the countries. They'd be like, Mr. Hussain, really nice to meet you. To my father, I'm like, holy fuck, like damn, like we're really here, like damn. I'm like, I want to get there one day, right? So again, when you're not given
That'll make it real for you real fast.
because you're like, damn, this is possible, right?
Possible, yeah.
So when when you know it's possible, you're like, why the fuck do I not just have it? It's right there. So the steps you'll figure out, but as long as you know it's possible, then it's possible and you'll make it happen, right? Yeah. A lot of people though, when you're given a lot and when you're again, like gifting and giving your people and all that can actually disable them if you do it the wrong way. So
Yeah, because then they get to live a life they didn't earn.
exactly, and that's what when I was raised, I guess I was put in that position to where I was never disabled. So everything around me was basically a tool of
Enabling you.
a tool to enable me to get to where I want to be, and that's what I'm thankful for. So my father was definitely the best mentor, the greatest fucking mentor ever. Forever thankful. I tell him every single day, I'm fucking thankful for you. Actually, tell him every day. But within Web3, I would say probably Alex Becker's up there for like mentors. He did say, I was actually telling my girl this. There was a few things that he said that really changed my perspective of how I wanted to approach the space. And he said a quote in a video. I think it was, if you want to get rich or if you want to make a lot of money in the next bull run or whatever it is within NFTs or crypto, you have to really specifically focus on one niche and become really good at it and become the best at it. And not just any niche, but like a sub niche to like the sub niche. So like within that, for an example, for us, that'd be like you, NFT gaming, or for you guys, like investing in like like a lifestyle access brand, all that. And then for me, it's like the equivalent to like a Black Amex, right? So it's like these super niches is what makes you a lot of money. But then to scale to the next level, you have to become more. You have to start taking in more people and be more inclusive, which is all part of the process. But when you start off, you have to be super niche, and that's how you really build that big audience. And then from there, you can start to scale, become more general.
And the way, I just want to pause on that for a sec, because I think it's really important that everybody that's listening to this is able to understand that the reason why they say there's riches and niches, or obviously the sub niches, is because it's much easier to become a big fish in a small pond and dominate. And then you have some sort of monopoly effects, which means you have cash, you have influence, you have importance, you have reputation, you have respect. And then take that, large fish and then start to play in bigger ponds. And so the reason why that works, where, okay, you went and dominated the niche for being the Amex Black Card service for Web3, whatever it may be, and then continue to compound upon that, what can happen is now everybody knows what Dark Echelon is. People know what Dark Labs is. We know what it is. We know the utility that it has. So when you start to break into bigger and bigger niches, you're not just some nobody. You're now Mr. Hussain. Sorry, we're not presidents of countries, but hey, we'll get there one day.
We're founders of projects.
But
We'll
please
take
continue.
it.
When I pull up to South America, you guys should come. We're gonna meet with a few presidents of a few countries, some prime ministers. But that's more Web2 stuff. With that being said, it's when you are the king of your sub niche or when you're the king of your area, it gets you into that new room, and then it gets you into that other room, and then some guy told this guy that these guys are big, like take care of them, like it gets you in those rooms. So it definitely got me in those rooms to talk to some of the biggest people in the world. You know, at the time, 2022, at the peak of the bull market, A-list celebrities calling me, yo, please, I want to be your friend. Please, I'll take you out to lunch in Miami. Fuck you. You just want to make money off of me, motherfucker. I told them all, fuck you, fuck you. She saw all the DMs back then, all the biggest motherfuckers, you know, and even people on everything, people that I idolize hit me up. I'm like, holy fuck, I idolize these people and they want to be my friend. I'm like, damn. And then when you meet the motherfuckers that you idolize, you're like, damn, they're not shit. Yeah. So it definitely is life changing. But yeah, man, we all have to grow up quick at some point, right? We all have to figure out how the fuck to do shit, and you just figure it out. But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, another thing that I'm realizing, even in just parallel to myself, right? I mean, our father, ridiculous impact on our lives and just the way that we saw everything. And so I think, you know, the fact that if you can put yourself in an environment, and honestly, we were blessed for it, right? Having our fathers, you know, be able to be leaders in the business world and see the way that they operate. Because even when I go to a restaurant, for example, right? Like, let's say you go to a restaurant with a big party. You know, you got 15 people, their largest table's 10, right? A lot of people, they go up and they go to the waitress and they're like, hey, like, I got a table for 15. They're like, okay, I can put 10 here, I can put 5 here, right? If I go to dinner with my dad, he's walking right in, he's putting the tables together and he's sitting down. And it's sometimes when you see that stuff happen, right? Then the next time you go, you don't take no for an answer. And I feel like that's something that's hitting me right now, just like seeing you. I see myself and you a lot, and I know you feel the same way, right? And we got that Pakistani blood as well. Dude, it's amazing to see how much of an impact your environment and just seeing it happen once already can have on you. And so I know everybody's not blessed to be able to have, you know, that type of upbringing, but you can find the right...
Yeah, you have a 20-year-old making 8 figures a year. You can do it if you want.
Exactly. You have these podcasts, you have these environments, you have these types of membership clubs that, you know, there's a reason why we like to offer the things that we do, or that we surround ourselves in certain environments. But I'd love to segue into learning even a little bit more about, you know, what your father's background was, because I feel like that would kind of fill a piece of the picture for us that we can really see, you know, why you are the way that you are at this young age.
So a lot of commonalities between, you know, that generation of Pakistani people moving to US. I'm sure your dad came when he was probably like, what, teenager, younger, 20s?
Yeah, 20s, early 20s.
Yeah. So for example, same thing here. Father comes to US, borderline homeless, right? Figures it out, comes with his other brown boys. They team up, try to figure out shit, try to fuck shit up. Eventually end up doing pretty well. They find something that works for them. They scale it. Then, you know, my dad found success pretty well from when he moved to the US. And I could tell you, he's not the world's smartest human at all, right? He's not the world's best at anything, right? But what he's good at is figuring shit out and making sure that his family gets taken care of at the end of the day, by making sure that they're fed and making sure that they have a smile on their face. So I'm forever thankful for that. But his background is mainly wholesale electronics, worldwide distribution, mainly to South America, billions of dollars. Many billions after 30 years or so. That's in sales. And then also too, recently he's been getting pretty big in e-com. So Amazon vendor, Amazon seller, Walmart vendor, Walmart seller, Newegg, Best Buy. Again, these are not, he's selling on them. He's partnered with all these companies, right? So he's doing pretty well there. But that's where I learned a lot about pretty much everything, right? How to deal with people, logistics of the back ends of the business, you know, running e-com, running ads. I used to run the ads for the business and shit.
Is he still involved in your businesses at all?
In any of mine?
Yeah, in yours.
He doesn't even know what the fuck I do. He just knows that I'm doing okay. I pull up. I'm like, yo, dad, here's a gift. Whatever. No, I'm just joking. He knows quite a bit about what I do, but he definitely is not like informed on like the industry and like how it really works. But he sends me articles like, yo, crypto scam. He sends me them all the time. He's like, yo, be careful. I'm like, I'm fine. No. With that being said, for you guys, I think that there's a relation. Big time from like what I see on how you guys are raised. You guys don't take no for an answer. You guys figure shit out, right? You guys are super driven. I'm sure that, you know, obviously there was resource there when you guys grew up, and there was the potential for your father to just give you guys handouts, but you guys obviously worked your way up and you guys just figured it out. So
Yeah, I wish we got handouts. Well,
you don't, though.
No, you don't.
when you're younger,
No, you
Yeah,
don't.
you know.
when you don't have anything, you wish for the handouts. But then when you make it, you're like, I'm so
Yeah,
fucking
thank God,
happy.
yeah.
I was never given shit. And then all those shits, everything that our parents told us when we were younger, like, yo, do this, and you fucking hated it. You were thankful for
Yeah,
it.
you realize
Forever
that there was a
thankful.
lot of wisdom in that.
Yeah, I mean, my dad, he worked a 9 to 5 his entire career, but the one thing he does, he's one of the best lumber salesmen in Dallas at a huge construction market, and I rode along with him as a kid, and I heard him deal with objections, I heard him sell people, I heard him get more product on the deals, and I was like, man, I'm learning more and more, and over time, life is sales. Every conversation you have in life is a sale, so I really am grateful for that. Even he was never the boss or anything like that, never had his own business, but man, I learned so much just from being around that environment, same kind of thing, and not having handouts, having to work for everything that you get personally. So no, I relate to that as well.
And something about sales, you guys are gonna laugh. If a guy's a salesman and his girl's ugly, he's a fucking shitty salesman.
That's facts. So you mentioned earlier too that at first your business, you're not wrong.
It's true.
Yeah,
No,
it's
you're not
true.
wrong.
It is true. So let's go back to the relationship standpoint. You mentioned earlier that at one point your businesses were getting in the way sometimes of your relationship potentially, and kind of that hustle mindset was a roadblock in your relationships. How did you get over that? And you know, how important are the people in your life to you now that you're over that roadblock?
Yeah, so it wasn't something that I planned. It was more so of like a process. It eventually just happened, right? I'm like, okay, this needs to get taken care of. It's too much of a headache. Boom, find a guy for that. Okay, this is too much of a headache. It's taking up too much of my time. I feel like that if I can spend $2,000 a week or a month to someone handle this, it'll save my time, and then I can focus on doing this to make $50,000 a month, right? So it eventually worked that way to where we just scaled it up, and like now we have a shitload of employees. I don't know all their names. I can't tell you how many we have. People ask me, yo, how many employees you have across all your companies? I don't really know, and a lot of them are on contract basis. A lot of them are off, service basis, whether we need them or not. So I don't even know, bro. It's probably like fucking 30 to 80. I can't even tell you, but all I know is that I'm thankful for them, and at the end of the day, it's like I'm sure you guys have the same thing. It's just like you just figure it out as you go, right? So I was at a mastermind too, and the term scaling with systems kept being used. And I'm like, what the fuck does this mean, and why are all these smart guys saying it? So you guys are into this also. You guys told me.
Robbie's mastermind.
No, I actually, this is some guy from Singapore that I know. His name is Alvin Poe.
That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of too.
You guys told me about that guy, I think. But this is something else. This is when I was like 19. I kept hearing this shit. I'm like, fuck, why is everyone that's rich talking about it? Yeah. So I figured it out. I'm like, all right, now it makes sense. And now I'm doing it. I'm like, all right, it's this easy. What the fuck? So it's just like everyone around us is like, or not everyone around us, but everyone that's trying to do it is doing it themselves. And what they realize is that the reason why they're not there is because they're doing it. Yeah, they need someone else to do it. And yeah, I mean, it's easy for us to say, but if you've never been there, it's hard to say.
No, it is very difficult, but you got to turn your business into a machine, right? You got to, and like, even when you talk about pulling yourself out and seeing it from the top, I mean, isn't it so much easier to like manage and improve a machine? Like, let's say you're building a computer. Isn't it easier to build a computer if you're looking at it rather than you being inside, right? Like, let's say you were sitting inside the computer. You don't know where the motherboard is and where like the GPU is, right? But if you see it from the top, you can clearly see, okay, the motherboard's right here, GPU's right here. I can switch this out. I can switch this out. And that's what you want to look at your business as. You want to turn it into that machine. And that's where that systems come from, right? It's all a process. It's all mapped out. It's all interchangeable, right? That's why you don't know these people's names, because it could be them one week, but if they don't perform, it could be somebody else next week. And there's those systems in place for it to happen by itself, right?
Yes, and what a lot of people don't understand is that the best ideas and the best lines of improvement that you'll ever think of for your business is when you're not thinking about your business. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It just comes.
It just comes.
When you stop thinking about your business starts getting better because now you find ways to improve it. Now you find ways to fix the funnel or fix this and that.
There's a distinction. I've read a lot of books on building systems and automating your company. Even if you guys want to check out the 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, he talks about delegation, automation, liberation, automation, things
Everyone
like that.
loves that name, 4-Hour Workweek.
Yeah.
Bro, that's one of the guys I spoke to, and I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit. I was like, he wants to speak to me? That was one of those stories, too. Like, damn.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And so the big distinction is you want to go from driving your business to designing your business. When you're in design mode, you're able to, like Hussain was talking about, look at the inefficiencies, look at what's wrong, be able to see what the overall culture is, how are people performing, look at metrics, things like that. And then obviously when you're driving it, unfortunately, if you're the one driving and you're the one applying the brake, applying the gas, taking a look at everything, it feels good. Oh, I'm driving the business. but unfortunately, you're not able to get the level of perspective and the level of vision that lets you scale up to that next level. Hussain was talking a little bit earlier about how we plateau. A lot of people don't know this, but very often when you want to level up in life, it works like a staircase, right? So you have that exponential gap up, and what happens is because you have that exponential gap up, there's certain things that happen upon that gap up that you have to deal with, right? Like, for example, you just started a new company, great? Maybe you got some investment, maybe you got some team members that came in. You got to figure out how to allocate and put these pieces together. Same way, now let's say you place a CEO in your company, or you start spending money on advertising or whatever it may be. There's now new variables that you have to figure out. And so that plateau period is just the period of you figuring out how to align and put all the pieces together. And the second that you do, boom, it just jumps up, right? We can talk about the Web3 example with the NFT, right? We first had our asset value, our algo, our trainings. What did we do? We put it together and we brought it to the NFT space. That was our first jump. Now we got to figure out, okay, we raise this money. What do? We got to put things together, put teams together, get everybody in their proper silos, make sure that we bring on proper connections, create relationships like you, and then bringing in a VC that was brought on. They were angel investors. They started bringing in new ideas, new technology, new strategy, bringing in capital, bringing in team members. All of a sudden, all right, now we're about to have a $10 million mint, right? Now, believe me, this is what's going to happen. This is part of the game. We're going to plateau again. It just is. That's the game. That's life. Even in life, when you're working out at the gym or getting better at basketball or getting better at whatever it may be, that what happens is the way that I guess the life works, the universe works, our minds work, is that you're gonna have this gap up and it feels amazing and it's super exhilarating. And you're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Even when you moved down to Miami, right?
Oh yeah.
It was like a massive gap up.
Yep.
And then kind of plateau, right? You get, okay, I gotta move in, I gotta get a couch, right? I gotta like get like toilet paper, I gotta figure things out. Cool, all of a sudden, what happens? Another gap up, right? So that's very natural, and although it's annoying and frustrating for guys like ourselves, you like look like a person who's really driven on just pushing things as fast as possible. Gotta live with the plateau.
You gotta detach your ego too, because when you're talking about driving the car, right? I mean, it feels amazing to drive fast and just be doing everything and be the driving force. But sometimes you gotta give up what feels good in hopes to achieve something that's so much better, right? Because having that time freedom and having that ability to just think and let those ideas come to you, I mean, there's no feeling in the world like that, but you have to detach of being able to drive the fast car and look really cool while you do it. Yeah. And look really cool while you do it, because that is a status. That is everybody wants to be the CEO. And so, hats off to you doing everything that you have at this age and just being a leader, bro, because I see your people. The one thing that you can also tell is, how successful somebody is you look at their people. I mean, I see your people when they're around you, they respect the hell out of you, and that shows that you're doing it right. You're being a leader, you're being a visionary, and you're pushing the fold. And, I love your passion, bro. I can only wish the best things for you. And Johnny, I don't know if you had any other questions, but I thought this was an amazing
this was
interview.
awesome. I thought you dropped massive value for anyone who's looking to start a business, anyone that's young, getting their feet wet in anything and just the real world and trying to actually level up, start a business, and then from there automate and scale. So I love the analogy, the computer analogy, because that's why the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator, they sit in the booth and they oversee the field. Everyone wants to be the QB, but he can't see every open receiver on the field.
That's even a better one.
Yeah. So I want to swing it around really quick. What's some stuff that you're working on, Ameer? And then I want you guys obviously to plug as well stuff that you're working on and where to find you. But what are you working on right now? What people can kind of look out for, and then where can they find you?
So look, there's this one analogy or one lesson or way of life that I've been really partaking in that's really changing everything on how I do, how I move, how I think, how I act, who I talk to. And it's the analogy of stop focusing on how I can make $10,000 a day and start focusing on how I can make $20 million a year. Doesn't have to be a certain day or this and that. It can make the $20 million on one day. But if I start focusing on how I'm gonna make $20 million a year and not how I make $10,000 a day to make almost $4 million a year, then I'll make $20 million a year, right? Mm-hmm. So with this analogy, it's opened up my mind a lot. And also it's giving me a lot of time freedom and mind freedom. I don't have to think day by day how I'm gonna make money. And how is this possible? Well, first of all, because we made a lot of money, right? That obviously we have this freedom now. We can sit back, think, relax, start to realize, why does this work this way? How does this work this way? How do I get in between this to make this work so I can be compensated in this way? So it's been a great journey these past couple of months. I've been really been able to have the actual time to sit back and really think, how do I get involved? I'm going to give a great example. With practicing this, I've been able to really spend time meeting up with, having dinners and lunches with, again, people are going to laugh. They don't think it's true, with certain billionaires, right? With one of my friends, we actually had a dinner and he's like, yo, Ameer, if you can get involved in this, then I can pay you out 20, 30 million. I'm like, all right, how? Tell me. My friend has a very big company worth maybe a couple $100 million, right? He wants to buy another company for a couple $100 million and have a merger and then actually go ahead and IPO, right? So merger acquisition process. He says, Ameer, if you can get involved, all it takes is you to put the group chat together, the connect to the bank or to whatever the fuck it is. I'll pay you 20 million. So that's just another example of positioning, environment. The way that you think is where you're going to be, and the environment that you receive is who you become. So I put myself in that environment, and now it's like, okay, now we can do 5 of these a year. We can do pretty good, right? So if you stop thinking about how you can make 10K a day and start thinking how you can make 20 million a year, 30 million a year, 40 million a year, if you don't make the 40 million a year, you're still shooting for the stars. You're going to land somewhere, right? So that's been one of the greatest lessons, being in the business of doing big deals instead of being in the business of trying to make small money every day. Yeah, we still have our companies automated. We still make money, but I don't even consider that making money.
You got your cash flow machines, and then you have your
I don't even consider whatever's our cash flow from our companies. I don't even look at that. I don't know what's happening. I don't give a shit, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, I love that. Just like think bigger, right? Play with bigger numbers, because it takes the same amount of work. I remember with $500 deals as it does with $5,000 deals, as it takes with $50,000 deals. Yeah. And so I guess we got to be talking 50 million, 50 billion.
And if you guys start doing that,
deals,
yeah, we got to make the number bigger, bro.
And I know you guys are in the business of doing big deals, right? You guys made a shitload of money this past month, and very big congratulations to you guys. It's a massive achievement, right? Yeah. No one's doing that. If you look around, nobody's able to do that. You guys did it, right? You guys are still going to kill it this year. But if you guys keep on thinking, okay, we sit down every single day. Imagine you sit down every single day for a whole year. How are we going to make 20 million? And how are we going to put ourselves in the position? You'll make 20 million. Guaranteed.
Or we're going to start having emergency meetings. You're coming. Yeah. You two are having emergency meetings.
Guaranteed.
You guys, tell us what you're working on. Tell us what you're working on and where we can find you.
So, what we're working on right now is how to completely disrupt and do as many different things to merge within Web 2 utilities and obviously give it to our holders at Dark Labs. What people don't know is that Dark Labs has an NFT, but we also have a actual just Web 2 based membership where there's no NFT involved. That's like $10,000. So if you guys want to find me, it's just Ameer Hussain with 2 N's on all platforms. What we're working on this year is how to completely disrupt industries, how to get involved, how to find the arbitrage opportunity, how to get our foot into big deals, and how to just completely be best friends with the biggest people possible, right? What's the biggest industry within luxury? What's the biggest industry within, the hospitality industry, within smoking, within nightlife? How do we get involved, right? These guys are making billions of dollars every single year. Bro, if there's trillions of dollars being made every single year and you can't figure out how to make $1 million out of that trillion, there's something wrong, right? None of these people out here that are making billions are any smarter than you whatsoever. They just have access to more information. They know different people than what you know, and they're living life a little bit differently. They don't wake up thinking how I'm gonna make 10,000 a day. Yeah. They're waking up thinking, all right, fuck, I'm so sad. I have to do a $50 million deal. That's what they're thinking, right? They're
should have been 500.
They're pissed.
Things went wrong.
They're pissed that they're pissed that they didn't make an extra 20 million, right? So that's the mindset that we have to adopt. And again, everything is mindset. Like once you get to to certain levels, you start to realize it's positioning, mindset, environment, the people that you're around. And you guys have a really good environment around you guys. You guys are connected to really good people. So just finding okay, this has been in front of me the whole time and I didn't see it. That's going to come along once you guys start to think about how do I make 20 million instead of 10K a day. I'm not saying you guys think like that, but I'm just saying in general. But it's been life changing. But yeah, boys, we're gonna fucking kill it this year. But definitely getting involved in all different industries.
Where can we find you? What's your at?
Instagram and Twitter, just at Ameer Hussain with 2 N's at the end. That's all, guys.
Yeah, dude, I love the fact that everybody here, we run multiple businesses, both in Web 2, which is just a traditional business world, and then also Web 3, which is like the blockchain world. And it's really cool because we all also run membership brands. And when you go on OpenSea and you click on the memberships tab, you're gonna see all of us.
Not just any membership brands.
No, and
we've all done pretty well.
Yeah, we've all been killing it, and our communities are really happy. And so it's an honor, it's a blessing to sit with you all. We're working on some really cool stuff right now as well. We last year we closed closed the year out running at around a $20 million a year run rate. I know that we're trying to hit that $100 million a year number. And then also over the past 30 days, we've done almost $5 million in revenue on the Web3 side. And so just looking to continue to scale that up and really provide as much value as possible as well, because what we know is that money is a byproduct of value. Money will always follow value. And so what we're doing, all of us, every single day, is we're just thinking, how can we provide value at the highest levels possible? And that's where those big numbers come from. Because when you have a $10 million business, you sell it for $11 million, you're just playing with a business, with an asset that's providing more value, right? Than something that's only $500. So amazing conversation, bro. Thank you so much for sharing. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to let us know. Let us know in the comments what else you want to hear. You can find me on Twitter at ReadyPlayerH, or on Instagram at Hussain Sheikh. And then you can also find some of our businesses online, Bright Vision Digital, Bright Vision Distribution, and Steady Stack NFT.
We have our private equity firm, Bright Vision Distribution. So like we said, we're trying to take that to $100 million a year this year. We also have some really cool stuff that I can't share too much information about. We spent about 8 to 16 hours over the weekend battle planning. I believe will be one of the biggest disruptors in the tech world since Apple. So there's some really exciting things that we'll talk about over the next few years and over the next few months on The Futurist, if you're lucky. And you can find me at ZanShake on Twitter and Instagram. Johnny, you can wrap it up.
All right, guys. Thank y'all for watching. As always, for more top-tier guests and podcasts here on the channel, like the video down below and subscribe for more content. And as always, we'll see y'all next week. We're out.
Peace.